Hello, welcome to Raider Reach. This is the podcast where we reach out to our school community and beyond to share the inspiring story of our Raiders. From the classrooms to the extracurriculars, we'll explore the people, events, and moments that make this district truly unique. Thank you for joining us today. Let's dive on in and tell our Raider story. My name is Megan Hogg, and I am the District Director of Communication. It's truly my honor to be the moderator of the district's audio podcast called Raider Reach. We are in our second season, and I guess it's probably about a little over halfway through our second season here, and I'm really excited today because we are kicking off CTE Month. CTE is what in public education we call career and technical education. It's been called many things through the years. It used to be CATE because they had the and was in a letter, so it was Kate. And then, back when I was in high school, I think they just, called it like the vocational is just the vocational department, which is why we have V-Hall. That's where that came from. So anyways, but CTE has really evolved now, and it is a huge part of our reporting each year for making sure our students are college and career ready and getting them certified in different things. And so it really pairs really nicely with the endorsements that our students are required to have, these pathways for graduation, to hopefully set them up well for their future after high school. So today we're starting off with our law side of things. It's one of our endorsements. And is it called law? Is the endorsement, do you know the endorsement is called law or?
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement. Okay, I wanted to make sure I had the correct title. And so representing that side of things today, I have two of our CTE teachers here. We have Miss Kelly James. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, good afternoon.
And I have Mr. Jeffrey, but I call you Jeff. Do you, like when you got in trouble, was it Jeffrey?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not in trouble.
I don't get in trouble anymore. So
okay, that's good. Jeff Fuselier, and I'm going to let them kind of tell you a little bit about themselves and what they teach. We'll get all into the different classes that they teach and what is included in this law program that we have here at Lumberton High School. So, Kelly, let's start off with you. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Thank you, Ms. Hogg. I'm originally from the East Coast. I graduated from Atlee High School in Mechanicsville, Virginia. We were also the Raiders.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I went on to attend college at Virginia Tech in Virginia. After completing a summer internship.
Hokies, right?
Yes,
Sorry.
Hokies. Yes,
It's Hokies. Okay.
Turkeys, yes. So after completing a summer internship in Washington, D.C. after my junior year, I realized I really wanted to pursue a career law.
Okay.
So I wound up going ahead and taking the LSAT and applying to law school, and I wound up going to LSU in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And then that's actually where I met my husband. He's from Port Arthur, so that's how I wound up in this area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then became a prosecutor, and then here I am today teaching at the high school.
Okay, wow. There's a lot of time, I'm sure, in there, a lot of studying, a lot of experience there.
Yes.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. You said you're from the East Coast with Virginia, and how far away was D.C. from where you where you grew up?
From where it was about 90 minutes.
Oh,
like
okay.
from here to Houston, it would be very similar.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, so it took you a shorter time to get to the nation's capital than it takes us to get to our state capital. Okay, so then you decided to go to law school, and that's where you met your husband in law school at LSU?
Yes.
Okay. So you went from being a Hokie to a Tiger?
Yes.
Okay. And kind of learned all about the Louisiana culture there?
Absolutely.
So he's from here, and then you guys settled here in Southeast Texas?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and then y'all have 3 kids, right?
Yes, we have 3 kids. I have a daughter who graduated from Lumberton in 2021, Kate. I have a son who's a 9th grader, Charlie, and then I have a 3rd grader, Jack.
Okay, so covering like all ends of the age range there.
Yes.
Okay, I love it. Your kids are great, by the way. I don't know Jack as well because he's younger, but Charlie is wonderful, and Kate is, I can tell she's high achieving and has done really great. Did she graduate from UT yet, or is that
She did. She graduated, and she's in grad school right now in New Orleans at Tulane.
Oh, wow, that's exciting. Okay, awesome. Well, we have that little tie there, the Texas X. We're both Texas X's. So anyways, that's so cool. And so when you were a prosecutor, did you practice, was the first a law firm that you practiced with? Was it here in Southeast Texas?
Yes, well, I started off for a very short time doing defense work for toxic torts. I knew I wasn't super interested in that.
Okay.
So I went and I was hired by Orange County District Attorney's Office over in Orange, and that's where I was a prosecutor. So I started off in misdemeanors, misdemeanors and felony. Then I became a little bit later, the misdemeanor chief, and then ultimately I became the felony prosecutor in the 128th Judicial District Court.
Okay. So how does the felony prosecutor work with like the district attorney?
That would be, I was an assistant district attorney.
Okay.
I worked under the elected district attorney, which at the time was Mr. John Kimbrough. He was the DA over in Orange County for a very long time.
Okay. Okay. So in our county is a lot smaller population-wise, I would say, right? Hardin County and Orange County?
Bit.
Yeah, so, but it's probably structured very similar.
Yes, very similar.
Okay, so some of our people may have served on jury duties or done different things there. I know some people who done grand jury with the district attorney's office, and so all those felonies and everything that they've kind of seen those things, which is very interesting. But anyways, that's really cool. Well, how long have you been here at Lumberton High School as teaching?
This is my 4th year.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
That's gone by really fast.
It went by really fast. So when I started, all those freshmen are now seniors.
Aw.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going full circle with
It's
them.
kind of bittersweet.
Yeah, it is. They were the seniors now, which Jeff's son is a senior. They were my very first students to be an AP for.
Okay.
At middle school. So I feel a little tied to them too, because we went through some character building and celebrating good milestones in the old middle school building with no ceilings in the hallways during the construction phase of all that renovation stuff, the bond stuff we did. All right, so let's move over to Jeff Fuselier. And Jeff, you have Louisiana roots too, right?
Born and raised.
Okay,
Baton
see?
Rouge.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, educational journey. Grew up in Baton Rouge, went to high school in Baton Rouge. I decided to go to college at Southeastern Louisiana University, which is an hour down the road in Hammond, Louisiana.
Yeah. What was your mascot? It's really important.
In high school,
Well, yeah, let's talk about that.
Spartan,
Oh, nice.
Spartan.
Okay, and then,
the Lions.
okay, Southeastern, they're the Lions.
Lions. My wife's probably laughing at
Oh,
me.
not Lyin. Okay, I got it. Let's make
Louisiana
that clear.
pronunciation.
Yes. Okay.
Right. So, I graduated in '95 with a bachelor's in psychology, worked that summer, and got into grad school. Did a year of grad school, believe it or not, in school counseling.
Oh.
I liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it. My best friend, who was a few years older than me, whose opinion I respected a lot, was going to be law enforcement since he was born. And he got out of the military and went into the Border Patrol. And he started getting me interested in that. And I was actually scheduled to take the Border Patrol test 3 times in college. But, you know, certain things take precedent in college over your career, stay out too late. And finally, somebody told me, hey, if you're going to do this, at least give it a try, because I don't want to hear you years down the road saying you should have. So I did it. Flew out to California. They were doing expedited hiring, did everything in 2 days. And it was the right call. I got hired on, did 5 years with the U.S. Border Patrol in Laredo, Texas. Switched over to Homeland Security, went to Academy, did 5 years as an agent with Homeland Security in Buffalo, New York. While I was up there, I got to spend time at the U.S. Embassy in Ottawa, Canada.
Wow.
Working with the RCMP on some cases there, and then I got transferred to Beaumont. So I did 5 years on the southern border, 5 years on the northern border, and about 15 years here in Beaumont.
I had no idea that you did the northern border work that you did.
Yes.
So when you're in Canada, is Ottawa...
It was a great
I
experience.
have been to Canada twice, and I went to Montreal once because I took French in high school, and my grandpa used to tell me, you're never going to use this. Why are you taking that? You speak Spanish. But I was very stubborn and wanted to know something he didn't know, so I took French, and that was my way of showing him, I will use this. And we made it to Montreal on a trip one time as our a family trip, and I was able to use French. You know, I haven't made it to actual France, but so a lot of French speaking up there. Where you were?
Yes, up there where I was from, a lot of my family.
Oh, yes.
Like my mom, that
I mean,
was her first language.
Fuselier is French,
Yes.
is it? Right, okay.
So.
Okay. Is that where you met Brenda when you were up in the north?
No, she was at grad school in Hammond, Louisiana,
Oh, okay,
That's where we
okay,
met, yes.
okay. Because she's from,
Wisconsin.
yes, okay, that's right.
She's from Wisconsin. She was going to grad school there for communication speech therapist.
Okay.
I have two boys.
Mm-hmm.
Brady, who graduated a few years ago. He's in his third year at Lamar. And I have Casey, who's a senior this year.
Awesome.
And they say they both want to follow in my footsteps, so that's where we're at with
So
that.
we're heading on the law enforcement track?
I think so. At least
Yeah.
they have a plan.
Yeah,
More
that's
than I
awesome.
had at this age, so it could change. That's what I tell my students. Hey, those of y'all that say you don't have any interest in it now, you're going to be the ones who are going to be actually doing it in a few years. So.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Okay, so then you started working actually at the middle school, because you and I worked together.
Yes.
That first year you came into education, and that was a fun experience.
It was, yes, it was.
Jeff and I did lunch duty together, and he was coaching. I mean, you jumped in really with both feet in the
Yeah,
deep end.
And it was that year where the bond, that we didn't have a gym, we didn't
Oh,
have
yes.
a locker room.
It was the first year we moved over here, and so they're having to use the gym for storage of furniture projects they haven't finished yet.
Everything was a challenge. that
It
year.
really was.
Yes.
It was a lot we had to work through. So, yeah, lots of memories there. But I'm sure that experience you took a lot of things from that experience, just understanding that side of things on the educational side. You've been married to someone who worked in schools for a long time. And of course, you attended schools yourself. But when you see it from that perspective, it kind of broadens your perspective a little bit more.
Sure,
So-
just appreciating what y'all go through, and that's what we're trying to get across to these kids.
Yeah.
Appreciate what lawyers, law enforcement
Yep.
deal with on a day-to-day basis, so they
Yes.
get a better understanding and appreciation of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so when you guys both made law as your teaching focus, just because of it, just was a good fit with your backgrounds. I mean,
Absolutely.
you practicing law and then you in law enforcement, that was just a really good spot for you. And when you first started, Jeff, like we said, you were doing PE and coaching, but when this position came open, that was a really good fit for you, right?
Yeah, toward in my career when I was thinking about retiring, I think they had this at the middle school
Mm-hmm.
at that time, and I said, that's what I want to do. And then when it was that time, it wasn't available,
Mm-hmm.
so I figured that's my foot in the door. I left after that year, kind of went back to that world at the
Mm-hmm.
federal courthouse, and then the instructor who had it before me was planning to leave. So I threw my name in the hat, interviewed, and got it.
Okay,
So,
and then this is your second or third year back in the
second year
Okay,
teaching.
back in the classroom. Okay, awesome. So for parents who may not be familiar, and I say this because we have 8th grade registration coming up, and you guys all last week were for 2 days, our CTE classes were at our middle school for our CTE showcase that we have for our 8th grade students, where you show them each focus of the CTE department, and y'all kind of take some students over there. What did y'all get to do when y'all took students over there? What'd you do, Miss James, with your students when you talked to the 8th graders?
Yes, we did a general overview of all the classes they were going to take.
Okay.
Starting off with principles. Do you want me to explain that now?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Well, so principles is a first year class that the students take if they choose the law path. It's an overview of the entire criminal justice system. So we start off with history, then we go into Fourth Amendment, all standard searches, seizures, warrants, probable cause, all that kind of stuff. We move on to learning Texas Penal Code, common crimes. Then we move on to the court system, correctional system. And then after principles, the first year class that they would take in 9th grade, every class that they take after that is dual credit with Lamar State College Orange.
Okay, and that's where you come into. Do you help with those dual credit
I
classes?
do.
Okay.
All of mine are dual credit, and I think Kelly teaches a couple also,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, so you were able to kind of tell them about that program and how it progresses. Were y'all able to do any kind of demonstrations, or did the kids talk a little bit about it? The students?
Yes, Mr. Fuselier did a really fun presentation. He could tell you a little bit about it.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, we just, Kelly did her spiel. She introduced herself first. I introduced myself, a little bit of background, and I just said, who's interested in being a lawyer or law enforcement? Of course, you always have some, and that's your volunteer. Well, come on down. And I gave them a little example like search and seizure from the government. Okay, step over the line, you're in Lumberton, Texas at Walmart. There's been some burglaries, break-ins of vehicles. I approach you as an officer, I ask to search your backpack. Let me search your backpack. And they all want to say yes, and I whisper, don't let me. No. I said, okay, Fourth Amendment. Okay, can I just grab her backpack and search it? No, you need a warrant. You need probable cause. And I had them step over the line to the Mexican-American border. Did the same thing. There you can just take the backpack. So it showed them how the Fourth Amendment gives you a lot of protection here, but down there, it's totally different.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I think they should know that, because lawyers, law enforcement or not, you're going to take trips, cruises, coming in and out of country. If you don't want them to look at something, don't bring it.
Yeah.
Don't bring it.
I mean, it'll prove for an interesting trip.
And then just to show them, I know a
An
lot of
extended stay, maybe.
a lot of them were thinking, well, that's not right, or my parents said this, or I saw this on TV. But then after I did it, I opened the backpack and there was a fake brick of cocaine and a fake gun in there, and I pulled up, look, this person did everything right, but because of a routine border check, look what I found. And let them know not everybody, not every criminal is all tatted up. It could be someone like me or you they're using to try to bring it across, and that's why they have that authority down there.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm sure that was interesting for them to see, and it was a good hook to get their interest in the program. I like that. Okay, so you talked a little bit about the classes that LHS offers. So Principles of Law, that's your first introduction class that everybody takes, regardless if they want to do law enforcement or law, right?
Yes.
Like practicing law. And then do the strands kind of separate?
No, so everything is law enforcement.
Okay.
But the second year class is the first semester of it, which is the first Lamar State College Orange class, is
Okay.
Intro to Criminal Justice.
Okay.
Then the second semester is Criminology. Then it moves on to the third year, which is Court Systems and Fundamentals of Criminal Law. Then the fourth year is Mental Health and Juveniles, and then Investigations.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
kind of a mix of
Okay.
both things, back and forth, law and law enforcement a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I could see with all those different tracks and specifications and of all those different semesters, you're covering a lot of information.
Covering a lot, yes.
But, I mean, so much more than we ever would have had access to when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Or at least me, and I went here. So you can just see from, 25, 3, I don't know, many years it has been since I've been in high school, but it's changed a lot in a good way. So that's exciting. All right, so parents of our 8th graders, if you didn't know about that CTE showcase, maybe it'd be a good time to ask your child about that and to see where their hearts were kind of, wanting to lean and to know more about those different career paths, because they didn't just cover law enforcement, but they also covered culinary arts and agriculture and the health occupations and many other things in there, lots of other things. So, and as we go through this next probably month or month and a half, we're going to have guests on our podcast that represent each one of those different endorsements that they have to have for graduation requirements and parts of CTE as well. So that's exciting. All right, so it's pretty evident based on how you were describing those courses, how they're going to help those students. But what do you think about those courses really help students beyond those who just want to be a lawyer or want to work in law enforcement? What is it about these courses that they have that gives them that really good experience? You guys do a lot of fun scenarios.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say something, then Jeff can step in, but I was going to say that when they have a problem, they have to figure out a real life scenario, that really gives them critical thinking skills that they will be able to use in the future.
Yeah, in any situation.
Any situation.
Yeah. So we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to find out a little bit more about our 2 guests today, and we're going to ask them some fun rapid fire questions we like to call our Fab Five segment. And some of these questions were sent in by students, but we always have one question that we start with, and it kind of gives us a peek into their personality. And that question is, tell us about one object in your classroom or your office that has a story behind it and maybe shares a little bit about your why. All right. So, Miss James, we're going to start with you, if that's okay. Want you to tell us, one random object in your classroom that has a story behind it that reminds you of maybe why you do what you do.
Yes, absolutely. I have a big poster in my room from several years ago. Well, my first year teaching, we tried to get our mock trial team off the ground, and we just didn't have enough interest. We had needed at least 10 students, and we just couldn't do it. So my second year, we had a really good group together, and we were able to form a team. And I have a large poster in my room that those students made to advertise mock trial at Running Start.
Okay.
And I still have it hanging in my room. We use it every year for Running Start. And it really reminds me of how those students have really taken ownership. And every new student that comes into the fold each year, they've taken ownership of the team, of the competition. They have really used their preparation and teamwork to gain a lot of confidence. Students who were not even in the same friend group have, because of their experience with mock trial and all the time they spend together, have become really good friends. So every time I see that poster, it makes me smile.
Yeah, because that's like the foundation. That's where it all began. And I think that is important. That is kind of a good why moment for you. And you can kind of refer back to it, too, when you're talking to your students. So, all right, Jeff, what do you have?
All right. A lot of things in the classroom have stories. That's why I brought them in there.
Yeah.
But I have a trophy from my 14 months on the bike patrol.
Okay.
When I was with the Border Patrol.
And that's not motorcycle.
No, those mountain bikes.
Okay.
Mountain bikes. It's a detail. There's a lot of different details. When you get this job, you can go do train or be on bike patrol and stuff like that. So had a great group of guys and girls, had girls on it too. And what it reminds me of, early in my career, how much fun I was having. It didn't feel like work. I was meeting these people, not from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but from the border, from this different cultures is what I'm saying, that I never would have had a chance to get to know, and their families and cultures. So the camaraderie was really good, and then when I look out at my class, it kind of makes me think of them, because in a few years they're going to be there, starting their new careers wherever, and I want them to have that same enjoyment I had.
Absolutely.
It's okay to move out, try something different, meet different people, and you're going to find out, families might not be quite the same as you, but y'all have the same interest and goals.
And wanting everyone to
yes.
prosper and have a safe place to live so that they can raise their families and everything.
And you learn everybody kind of wants the same thing.
Yeah.
No matter what you hear on TV, that's just a small part. Most people kind of want the same thing.
Right.
Be safe, good place to live with their families, that kind of stuff.
Opportunities, that's
right.
Awesome. Okay, second question. If you were to go to Sonic or Starbucks, you can do both or either, what's the drink that you like to order there?
I always get, at Sonic, I get water with strawberry, and then at Starbucks, I get plain latte.
Oh, just a plain latte.
Yes.
You're not very fancy there. That's easy. I love it. Okay, what about you, Jeff?
Well, I just tell my classes nothing beats discipline and consistency, so it's boring. I just like grilled chicken sandwiches and a lemonade or a water. That's
because you probably don't drink soda.
Well,
I'm glad. my Coke Zero that I brought here as I was driving over and got it for lunch. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for that. That is a lot of consistency and discipline, but. So your drink order is not very exciting at Sonic. Like you're just
no. The most exciting
original
idea is when they have the free Sonic drinks here and they bring a strawberry lemonade. That's
really
exciting.
Getting fancy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So number 3, what was the favorite class that you took in school? And this could be high school or college. What do you think, Kelly?
Well, definitely mine. I didn't have fun career type classes in my high school, but my favorite class, even with college included, my favorite class would be high school. My senior year AP Physics. I am not a science person at all, but I had the best teacher. Her name was Mrs. Schaff. She had moved there because her husband was in dental school in Richmond, Virginia, and she was just a really great teacher. She was wonderful. She instilled so much confidence, and especially those of us who struggled in science classes with like I did, that was not my main thing at all. But she just made the class really fun, and I learned a lot.
That's awesome. I love that. So now that you're teaching, you probably think about that a lot more
I actually
often.
do, yes.
Like, what did she do that make it special for us? And yeah, that's awesome. So you can reflect back. All right, what about you, Jeff?
Well, that's easy. It was in high school, I believe.
It was home ec.
Grade.
Just kidding.
Not far off. It was typing.
Oh,
I guess it was an elective.
Yes.
And my mom could type really good, and I was always kind of amazed by that. So I took typing, and it has proved, to be the best
skill to do.
to get. Because when we were in college, ton of papers, old word processors, you had to type, or you're gonna take you 2 or 3, extra hours to complete. And then when you go into your profession, everybody thinks law enforcement. You see what you're on TV, running around, doing all that kind of exciting stuff. Well, after you do all that exciting stuff, guess what? You have to come put it all on paper and a report.
Yep.
So
document everything. Yep.
And I don't know if I should say it on the podcast here, but there's only like 3 boys in the class. It was all girls. So that's what
that
made
helped
it really
too,
good.
huh?
Yes. That was a plus.
It helped you get your date to
Yes.
prom or something. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so if you could shadow any law enforcement professional for a day, who would it be? Like if you law enforcement, like in police or that kind of law enforcement, or what you did, Kelly, in the courtroom law, who would you shadow?
I would definitely shadow a detective or investigator just to see that other side of things that I didn't see in a courtroom. To see it for a whole day.
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole
Absolutely.
process. What about you?
Yeah.
You've done a lot, so.
I like Kelly being on the investigative side. I spent a lot of time in a courtroom
Yeah.
with lawyers, but lawyer or maybe a judge.
Oh, yeah.
What goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
All the clerks run around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting because it's a whole world. You see them in a courtroom, but a lot of courthouses, they have their own rooms and kitchens back. It's just a whole different world back there. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Well, Hardin County is not very, the courthouse is very old. A lot of Texas courthouses are, but my mother-in-law is actually the district clerk. And so I've learned just a lot from how she's been the district clerk. I think she just signed on to run again. I think she's unopposed for her 4th term.
Oh, wow.
So it's gone by really fast, actually. But I've learned a lot from just talking to her about what she does and what her staff does, because a lot of people just see, like what you said, they just see the product in the courtroom, if they ever do that as a jury or in that court process, trial process, but they don't know all the work that goes on behind the scenes with the lawyers and the other teams that are preparing the documents and all the things. So that's interesting. Okay, now this was one I'm really excited about, this question. Do you enjoy watching crime or police shows on TV?
I actually do. That's probably my favorite genre, but I like the old school Law and Order, like from the 90s, early 2000s.
I could just hear that music, or whatever it is.
Those are the best to me.
Yeah. Okay, what about you, Jeff?
Yeah, dude, that's mostly what I watch, action type movies like that. But I like the ones that are more realistic.
Yeah.
That's just, and I appreciate when they make it realistic because I know they put their homework into it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is one I recently started watching with my husband, and I've never been in. I'm not as versed in the police dramas. My parents, they watch them all, and they'll ask me about them, and I don't watch them. But The Rookie. Have you seen The Rookie?
I know what show you're talking about.
Okay. Well, our friends started watching it, and they told us about how we needed to watch it. So we started watching it, and it's one of those, I think there's like 7 seasons, and it's still going. But we binge watched this is very sad that I'm admitting this, since probably September to now, 7 seasons, which I know a lot of students could probably do in a weekend. But for us, is working and having children and all the things, we didn't have that much time. But it actually, when I talked to some law enforcement guys at the job fair that we were at, promoting the district at Lamar, and they were all sitting across from me, like every single law enforcement group, that was there, and they said actually The Rookie is pretty good. There's definitely some Hollywood in there and some drama that's added, but it's actually a decent police
Yeah.
drama, you know.
I've never heard of
So
it. I'll have to check it out.
yeah,
It's interesting.
yeah. It's on like Hulu and stuff
Oh,
now.
yeah.
The past seasons are, but it is really good. Okay. And so when I talk to our LPD people, whenever we work with them, the district works with them on stuff, I'm like, well, I know I have been watching a lot of the rookies, so I do know about that. And they always laugh at me. And I'm being facetious because I have zero knowledge compared to what they have, but, they always laugh about it. All right, so what kinds of career paths have you seen your students pursue? This is kind of a tricky question for you guys because you said this, Kelly, this is your first group that's graduating. Jeff, you've had some graduates like last year through the program. Are they going on? Have you had some going on into criminal justice?
In my second year, I just don't know. I know what some of them are talking about doing, but I've not spoke to any since.
So what are some of the things that your students are telling you they would like to do? Some of your upper level kids.
Well, they hear a few of them want to go into the Border Patrol,
Okay.
or they want to go into one of the federal agencies.
Yeah.
A couple at graduation came up to me, said they enjoyed the class, but they wanted to do something totally different, like doctors type, psychiatrists, but they're thinking about changing because of our classes. I said, don't. Go become a doctor, do your thing, then come back to law enforcement and help guys like me. We need guys like you. So go do your thing. You can always come back.
Yes, you can
and
be
help
law enforcement
out.
adjacent for sure.
Yeah,
For any of those
and a
careers.
lot of those things can overlap more than they think in that experience. And what about you, Ms. James?
Well, we have had when I first started, we had some older students, and we do have some of the several graduate and go on to pursue criminal justice degrees, like bachelor's degrees. But when I first started, we did have some who were graduating. We had a couple who went right into working in dispatch and corrections.
Oh,
so
that's cool. Yeah. Do you have a preference? Like when students ask you, I want to be a lawyer one day, I want to go to law school, what should I major in
yes,
undergrad?
that's
Do you
a
have
really,
a really
big
good
question. And you major in anything. I always tell them major in something you can fall back on because, especially with attorneys, there's a really high burnout rate. I mean, you could major in something where you can go back to that career. I went to law school with people who are engineers, nurses, doctors, police officers. There's no prerequisites other than a bachelor's degree. So
So there's not a certain major that's going to help you stand out more?
I don't think so.
Really?
No,
Or-
and you can absolutely do anything.
Everybody has to take the same
Yes.
LSAT.
Right.
So, okay.
And that's critical thinking, so you don't really need to have a specialized
Memorize the
knowledge.
penal code.
Correct.
And stuff. Okay. All right. So you kind of touched a little bit about this, but I think one of the best things about these classes that you guys are offering and teaching is that these courses help students really understand their rights and responsibilities just as regular citizens. So regardless if they go into law enforcement or go into being a career with the law, it helps them have a better understanding of those rights and responsibilities. You get those stories when they experience them themselves, that they get pulled over or they have family members or friends that have had court things that they've had to go visit to do. Do they come back and want to tell you all of the things?
Yeah, now because of what they got out of these classes, they know a little bit about the Fourth Amendment, know a little bit about their rights.
Yeah.
Know what these professionals have to do in order to get that. So now it's not like TV. They really had to work to get this, and this is why they say and ask me the things they do. They're not being A and B. That's their job. That's what they need to ask me to do their job correctly, safely, and I think they get a lot of that's important.
Yeah.
To know that because you're gonna end up having to go to court, have a family member. You're gonna run into law enforcement out on the street, and just if you treat them with respect, you don't know. They don't know what you're coming from, what kind of day you've had, and you definitely don't know what they've come.
Right.
A serious child injury or a dangerous, high stress situation.
Fatality
Now they're
or
dealing with
something.
you.
Yeah, right. Yep. Exactly. It's true. Okay, so whenever you have a student that says they want to go into law enforcement, but they're not really sure where to start, what do you how do you guide them?
Yeah, that's come up several times. I'm just taking this class to take it. I'm not interested in it at all. That first week, trying to get to know your kids. And like I said earlier, some of you that are saying that, you will be the ones doing this because I was that person too. But what it comes down to, you're going to meet that profession, that lawyer, or that law enforcement officer in the real world doing their actual job, you're going to have that encounter with them and be like, wow, not quite what I expected, or maybe better than you expected.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to do. Or that one teacher that influences you, says the right thing in class, the right story, the right example, and that's how it usually happens.
Yeah. You kind of agree with that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Asking and on top of that, like asking questions, shadowing professions. We've had county attorney Mr. Minnick has come and had students go up, and he's let them look at intake and things like that. You know, shadowing, evaluating your own strengths and weaknesses. If you're like to critically think, maybe one path would be different from somebody who wants to get, go all hands on and go down the law enforcement track. So
yeah,
I think all those are good ideas.
Yeah. Okay, so we haven't talked about your mock trial team except for in our Fab Five questions, but that's been something that's been really interesting and exciting for me that Lumberton that's really picked up here in the last several years. And so can you just give us a little bit of a history behind, not history, but how does a student, what is mock trial, and how does a student who wants to participate in that, how do they get involved in that?
Yes, it's a yearly competition put on by the Dallas Bar Association.
Okay.
And they write the case. It's a huge case. I mean, it's very long. It's a huge thick binder. There's 6 witnesses. Every other year it's criminal, so this year it was civil. It was about an employment discrimination lawsuit. But next year it'll be criminal. And we also have 3 attorneys. And each year we have, students join the team every year and leave the team. So we kind of have new students every year in and out, and then some of the same students. But we just prepare a lot. I mean, it's a lot of preparation, But we prepare, and then we go, so we get the cases released in October. The students start working on it. The witnesses have to basically memorize about 10 pages of their character, their story, their testimony. And all that is leading up to our competition, which is at the end of January, and it's at Jefferson County Courthouse, and we compete against other schools.
Like kind of a regional contest?
Yes, it's a regional contest, yes.
Yeah, and you guys have really put Lumberton on the map in that contest. And
yeah, they really did great
this year. You had 2 superlatives, I guess, if you want to call them.
Yes, we had 2 scholarship winners. Our best witness was Lily Sellers, and our best courtroom artist was Allie Bork, and they both received scholarships from Jefferson County Bar Association.
That's awesome. I love that. That's really cool. My dad used to teach and help with the mock trial team in the early 90s. Not here, but when he was coaching and teaching at another school. But I remember him telling me all about that and the different people he used to get to bring in to work with the kids. And we're fortunate that we have some really great relationships through you and your cohort of lawyers that they're able to come and kind of help work with our students. Absolutely. So that's awesome too. All right. Well, I think this has been really, for me, it's been very interesting to see your side of things. I'm used to being an educator, but not on these topics. And I think that it's so fascinating. It probably would have been something that I would have at least wanted to take one course at least on, so I could get just a taste of that. I don't know, maybe I would have ended up in a different area or something. But it is something that is very intriguing, and it makes me so grateful for not only the people who serve every day in those law enforcement organizations, but and what they do for us, like you said earlier, Jeff, with the things that they have to witness and help people through. It really is amazing on what they do on a daily basis. And our partnership with them as a district has been really invaluable because the world we live in today, there's lots of unsafe things and lots of unknowns. And so just having that really great partnership has been great. But also for you guys, bringing in the background knowledge and the real world examples, because let's just be honest, I'm pretty sure you are making a little bit more money in your careers in the actual profession you were in before. And so I was just thinking about that as I was driving up here today, that it's really amazing that we have you guys in these positions, because a lot of schools have these classes, but they may not have the people with experience like we do. And I just want to say thank you, because it is a sacrifice that you're making financially in other areas. I know it has some other benefits to it, like maybe a better work-life work-life balance with your family, and being able to go watch their activities, your kids and everything, and having the same schedule. But I just wanted to acknowledge that because that is a really big deal, and to tell you both thank you for what you're doing on a daily basis.
You're welcome.
Just
You're very welcome.
very big diamonds that shine bright here. So thank you for all that you do, and I know you're training some future educators and lawyers, law enforcement officers to do really great things in our society, and that makes me feel better too. So thank you for what you're doing and for being here today, for giving your time there. So, well, that's a wrap for today's episode of Raider Reach, and we hope that you enjoyed hearing the stories that make our district and community so special. But remember, it's all about making an impact, and that might be in our communities, in the courtrooms, at the police stations, wherever you may be. But here in Lumberton ISD, it happens a lot in our classrooms so that those students can go out and transform our world. You can find us on all podcast platforms, so be sure to subscribe and share this episode with others in our community. And join us next time as we continue to reach out and share more Raider stories. But until then, let's stay connected, let's stay inspired, and let's just keep making an impact. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.